Welcome to another episode of the Modern Moron. I'm flying solo today, and it will probably show. I talk about Donald Trump's visit to the United Kingdom and a welcome he might have been able to see as he flew in. Then I cover an article in USA Today that discusses tips on getting the most out of your Social Security. That's right in our wheelhouse, right? And then I wrap up with a couple of recommendations that are currently on Netflix. And I start out by discussing the invasiveness of Alexa, Cortana, Siri, blah, blah, blah. But mainly Alexa. It's a summertime grab bag on the Modern Moron. And thank you for listening. A month or so ago, we did a story, we addressed an Alexa device. How much it's listening. Well, we got some new news on that, a new take on it, and a couple of different news sources. This is from a publication called Engadget. It says a patent made public about a week and a half ago, was filed by Amazon, would allow the company's voice assistant, Alexa, to start recording audio before users say a quote-unquote wake word. According to the patent, it would allow users to more naturally communicate with their devices. Phrases like, play some music, Alexa, rather than starting each command with Alexa, or another chosen wake word. Currently, the voice assistant is unable to listen to or understand commands until the user utters the wake word.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Right. I don't believe that in the first place, but reading just a tiny bit more. In practice, the patent would allow Alexa to, air quotes, look backward.
I'm sorry, Dave.
At recent things said aloud prior to hearing its name.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
For example, if a user said something like, what's the weather going to be like today, Alexa?
What's the problem?
The device would hear the trigger word Alexa and quickly go back over the prior phrase to process the command.
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
To accomplish that, the voice assistant would constantly be recording, storing, and processing speech.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
Then quickly deleting it if it's not relevant. Right, guess what else they're going to be doing?
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me.
Monitoring you and every conversation that you have about any kind of product or service. You're just going to be, it's Big Brother. Let's face it, it's Big Brother. A snippet from another article from Forbes magazine says, the fact that Alexa is always listening to her surroundings is easily explained by the technology that Amazon chose to implement for its smart speakers. The Seattle-based technology giant uses cloud computing to process every spoken word captured by its smart speakers. What it means in layman's terms is that every word you say to Alexa is sent to Amazon's cloud service. By the way, that's the bulk of Amazon's business. You think it's filling up your shopping cart. It's not. It's cloud services. To be automatically transcribed before it can respond to your request, including basic commands like, air quotes, play music, or, air quotes, turn on the light. Nothing is processed on the device because it doesn't have the necessary computing power and the intelligence on board. Just letting you know, if you've got one of those, Big Brother is listening. And Google's doing the same thing, and Apple's doing the same thing, and I'm sure Microsoft is hot on their heels, or maybe they're already doing it. There are several methods for supposedly disengaging or changing the way you interact with Alexa and the way Alexa wakes up, so to speak. You'll need to go to the Alexa app, not the actual device, but the Alexa app that you probably have on your phone or your computer that interacts with the device. And you're going to have to go to your Alexa account and then scroll down to Alexa privacy. Then you're going to see some stuff that says that you can opt out or turn off. You would think that you would have to opt in the first place, but no, Alexa assumes that you want to be listened in to constantly. And there's another option that's going to be coming out, and it's called Hackaday, Hackaday, all one word, Hackaday. You can look that up. It's a device that sits on top of your Alexa or whatever device you have, and it is basically white noise. It sets on top of your device, and then the keyword, the wake word you use, stops the white noise from coming out of the device that keeps your Alexa from hearing everything, and then you can interact with the Alexa. Does that make sense? It's a little crazy, but there you have it. You can put a white noise device on top of your Alexa so it can't hear anything you say. Then you say your activate device, which stops the white noise, and then you interact with your Alexa, your Google, whatever it is. You know, even people who have nothing to hide deserve some level of privacy and probably want some level of privacy. I mean, sometimes I think, well, I don't have anything to hide. I can have an Alexa. Well, you know what? I still don't want everything heard that I say or curse or scream in my house when I'm by myself. So you should be able to make that choice, and a choice that you can trust. So I hope something of this helps you decide how you want to interact with your crazy listening devices that are constantly listening to you. Additionally, and another story from CNN states that Amazon employs a global team that transcribes the voice commands captured after the wake word is detected and feeds them back into the software to, air quotes, help improve Alexa's grasp of human speech. Bullshit. So it can respond more efficiently in the future. This sort of reminds me, for the core of this demographic, old white guys. Remember when ATM machines first came out? The automatic teller machines. I would take money out, but I'll be goddamned if I'm going to put my hard-earned paycheck into that damn machine. Were you like that? I would go into the bank to deposit my check, but I would take money out of the free money machine. Same thing. We're just next generation will get used to it, and that'll be the new norm, right? Okay, that's enough of that. So I looked up the origins of the ATM. And they started back in England at a Barclays bank in 1967. They didn't really become popular until the 80s, but apparently the first one was in England. And whenever I'm researching something like this, the first place I end up going to is Wikipedia. How often do we go to Wikipedia? And I always wonder, as I hope you do, what the reliability of your news source is. You know, don't just get from the right or the left. Check out where it's coming from. And so I thought, how reliable is Wikipedia? So here's what I found about Wikipedia that you probably already know, unless you're as big a moron as I am. Wikipedia is not a reliable source. Wikipedia can be edited by anyone at any time, which means that any information it contains at any particular time could be vandalism, a work in progress, or just plain wrong. Wikipedia generally uses reliable secondary sources which vet data from primary sources. You know where I got that? Wikipedia. How about that? That's what Wikipedia says about Wikipedia. It's not a reliable source. Wouldn't it be nice if all news and information sources were that forthright? Wouldn't it be so honest? It said, hey, you should go to an outside source just check on us. Hello, this is CNN. I'm Wolf Blitzer or Anderson Cooper or whoever. And, you know, this story is going to be coming to you from the left. So double check us on the right and check it out for yourself. But don't just take our word for it. Right? And the right could do the same thing. Who's the mainstay at Fox News? I need to look that up.
Use a computer.
I'm sure you all know that our president is currently visiting the United Kingdom, Great Britain, England, as it were. And I saw him get off the plane, and the first lady, Melania, she looked sharp. Black and white outfit with a black and white hat, tilted to the side, looking very regal almost. And then, of course, there's the president.
Don't be rude.
And I guess flying in, I'm sure you knew that, but maybe you didn't know that flying in, there was a kid outside of England as you fly in. I'll just read you the story. It's from The Independent. I believe that's a British publication. A teenager has mowed an anti-Trump message, complete with a giant penis, into the grass of his family home ahead of the U.S. president's UK state visit. And I mean, he has a big lawn, so it's definitely visible from the air. Ollie Nancaro spent his weekend mowing the words, "Oi, Trump!" O-I, Trump, as if did he really need to do oi? Oi, Trump, into his lawn near Hatfield in Essex. The 18-year-old also used the mower to etch a giant polar bear, a penis, and the words, "Climate change is real," into the grass, according to the Bishop's Stortford Independent. The A-level student hopes that the U.S. president will spot his creation as Air Force One approaches the airport, which is near Hatfield, on Monday morning. The teenager is the founder of Born Eco, a website which connects shoppers with eco-friendly traders. Wonderful. What I found interesting or just happened to notice about this aerial photograph is that this kid obviously drew or mowed, because he mowed it out, mowed the penis first and then the subsequent lettering and other stuff afterwards. And every time he entered or exited the field or canvas, he used the tip of the penis as his point of exit and entry repeatedly, which started to form a trail, I guess, if you will, in different directions, making it look like the penis was, something was coming out of it. There's only two choices, so both of them are pretty derogatory and disgusting, especially for a show with the integrity of this one, so we'll leave it at that. Moving on to other intense news that you really need to know about. IHOP, who last year had a campaign to be called IHOB, International House of Burgers. IHOP has created a burger with a pancake in the middle, and people are freaking out.
Oh, God, it's so good.
That's the headline for Business Insider. I don't think anybody's freaking out over this. On Monday, the International House of Pancakes debuted 3 new burgers sold under the label of pancakes as a tongue-in-cheek callback to the chain's IHOB, International House of Burgers campaign in 2018. The most creative of the pancakes is the Big IHOP Pancake, which sandwiches a cheddar cheese pancake between 2 beef patties as a Big Mac-style third bun. The burger also contains American cheese, bacon, and IHOP sauce / Thousand Island dressing. So the Modern Moron thought, that's interesting. Not really. But how many calories is that thing toting around? The Big IHOP Pancake Burger is 1,310 calories.
So good and tasty?
That's just the burger. No fries, no drink, no whatever. 1,310 calories. What are we supposed to consume? A 2,000 calorie diet? But that's too much for one meal or one item of a meal. And as part of your weekly regime of consuming the show, the Modern Moron suggests that you avoid this. Okay, our next topic or story, which I'm basically going to read an article to you, that is right up the alley of the Modern Moron's demographic, target demo over 50 or 55. It's from USA Today, and it came out on Monday's edition of USA Today. 3 things that'll cause your Social Security benefits to go down. Now, that's right up our alley, right, folks? Social Security, they pay the average senior today $1,400 a month. Hardly enough to fund a comfortable retirement, but it's also not a negligible amount either. In fact, those benefits could end up helping you stay afloat during your golden years. That's going to be my primary source, I think. I have no idea. I'm probably never going to retire. I f***ed around too much in my life to put away what they call a nest egg, and I didn't have a good job with good benefits, and who cares? Okay, so it pays to be aware of these 3 factors that could slash your benefits for life. Number 1, not working a full 35 years. Your Social Security benefits are calculated based on your top 35 working years, which means that if you took an extended break from your career, or if you never had a career, say to raise children or care for a loved one, you may not have that many years of earnings on record. The problem is that for each year within that top 35 you don't have reportable wages, you'll have a big fat 0 factored in to your personal benefits equation, thereby bringing down your monthly income. The solution, they say to that, is extend your career if you don't have 35 years of work under your belt. For each additional year you work, you'll replace a 0 with an actual income. And chances are that income will be higher than what your earnings looked like earlier in life, thereby bringing your benefits up even more. Number 2, not checking your earnings statements. The Social Security Administration issues an annual earnings statement to workers summarizing what their taxable wages entailed for the year and what their benefits might look like in retirement. If you're under 60, you won't get a copy of this statement directly. Rather, you'll have to create an account on the administration's website and access it there. But it pays to review your earnings statement each year because if you spot an error that works against you, getting it fixed could help you avoid a needless reduction in benefits. What kind of mistakes? It could be that they have no income on record for you during a year when you actually worked and paid taxes. Or it could have a lower amount on record than what you actually earned. Finally, number 3, not waiting until full retirement age to file. Eligible seniors are allowed to start collecting Social Security as early as 62. But if you don't wait until full retirement age to claim benefits, you'll lower them in the process. Come on, people, keep working. For each month that you claim benefits ahead of full retirement age, you'll face a reduction and one that will remain in effect permanently. The most extreme cut in benefits you might face is a 30% cut, which would happen if your full retirement age is 67. but you file at the earliest possible age of 62. But that's a pretty substantial hit to take, especially if you plan to rely on Social Security as a major income source down the line. So think about working till 67. I'm probably going to have to work till I'm 77 and then die 6 months afterwards. Thank you. Okay, let's finish things up here with something from the world of entertainment. The Moron has a couple of Netflix recommendations for you. Two of them, as a matter of fact. And I would say the common denominator between the two would have to be Saturday Night Live. The first is a movie called Wine Country. This doesn't necessarily cater to the core demographic of the Moron, as we tend to cater to the males over 50. But your over 50 wives, girlfriends, and mistresses might find it enjoyable, and I think you will too. It features a group of ladies that go to Napa Valley for a weekend to celebrate their friend's 50th birthday, and the cast is a group of Saturday Night Live alumni. I'm not saying this is a tremendous movie or anything like that, and the only reason I say that is that when people tell you, oh, you've got to see this movie, it just creates expectations, and expectations usually ruin everything. At least increased expectations do, in this moron's opinion. If someone tells you they saw a shitty movie and you watch it, you might say, well, it wasn't that bad. So I guess that's not a problem. But movies that have a personal element to them, it means it's subjective, and I think this movie's it's worth a look. Check it out. The film is on Netflix, and as I said, it features alumni from Saturday Night Live, including Amy Poehler, Emily Spivey, Paula Pell, Maya Rudolph, Rachel Dratch, Tina Fey, and Anna Gasteyer. Definitely worth checking out. 2 thumbs up from the Moron. The second Moron recommendation is for stand-up comedian John Mulaney, Kid Gorgeous at Radio City. He's in his 30s, but he looks like he's about 15 years old and was a writer-producer on SNL for about 5 years. He's not what you would call a political comedian, more observational humor, not much cursing, but he drops the occasional F-bomb just because, and that's why we like him. He admits that he doesn't follow politics that much, which leads to his metaphor for our current president, likening it to a horse that has somehow gotten loose in a hospital.
I think eventually everything's going to be okay, but I have no idea what's going to happen next. And neither do any of you, and neither do your parents, because there's a horse loose in the hospital. It's never happened before. No one knows what the horse is going to do next, least of all the horse. He's never been in a hospital before. He's as confused as you are. There's no experts. They try to find experts on the news. They're like, we're joined now by a man that once saw a bird in the airport. It's like, get out of here with that shit. We've all seen a bird in the airport. This is a horse loose in a hospital. When a horse is loose in a hospital, you gotta stay updated. So all day long you walk around, oh, what'd the horse do? What'd the horse do? The updates, they're not always bad. Sometimes they're just odd. Be like, the horse used the elevator. I didn't know he knew how to do that.
There's obviously much more to it than that, but it's worth checking out. Definitely funny. Runs just over an hour. It was recorded at Radio City Music Hall in February of 2018, so it's a little over a year old. Yet it stands up. I hope you check it out, and I hope you enjoyed it like I did. That'll do it for this episode of The Modern Moron. I guess I'm going to write myself an outro for this, an ending to wrap up my own wrap-up. I wonder what I'll say. I'll tell you what I'll say. I'll say this. This marks the 19th episode of The Modern Moron, and this show made a commitment to do at least 20 episodes just to give it a go and see what happens. And next week's will be the 20th episode anniversary of the show. An anniversary show for 20 episodes. And I guess I'll make an announcement as to how much longer the show will continue, or whether it might be time for a summer break, or maybe put this project to bed altogether. Regardless, the show has well over 500 total downloads over 18 episodes. Thank you very much. With pretty much zero advertising, zero promotion, zero celebrities being on the show, and a moron host who has zero social media presence. In the world of podcasting, 500 downloads it's pretty pathetic. It's a grain of sand on the beach, but it's a lot more than I ever expected. And to know that, you could be listening to some famous person's podcast who have other famous people on their show, and then they talk about what it's like to be famous or whatever they talk about. But instead, you take 20 to 40 minutes to check out this moronic show. It makes me truly grateful that you would do that. So thank you. And we'll see you at least one more time.